Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa, says the military will intervene if end-bad governance protest degenerates. He spoke in reaction to the vandalization and looting that took place in some parts of the country. In a press conference today, Musa asked protesters to recognize that destruction is counterproductive. This, he said, will only set back the nation. Musa commended the Nigeria Police Force for its efforts to maintain law and order. He added that the military would be forced to step in if the violence persists.
The police all true, but we're just on standby. The police is doing a good job. They're handling the situation for now. And unless if it breaks beyond what they can handle, then the military will step in. And the military is on standby, and we're watching day and night. Clearly, the security forces have done extremely very well. I'm very happy to mention what especially the Nigerian Police Force, have shown a lot of professionalism, including where members of the armed forces had to step in. But you can see that we have remained very professional in our conduct, and will continue to do that. I've seen some injuries, and we're investigating to find out actually what happened. But I know that a lot of restraint was really exercised yesterday. A lot of tear gas, non-lethal aspects were done. I've seen a lot of people that were injured. Some were mentioned, but we're investigating that to see entirely what happened. Like I said, when situations like this happen, some people take advantage of them, doing one thing or the other to make it look as if it is security agencies that are doing that. But we're taking measures on that. That I can show you.
Well, for more on this, I'm joined in the studio by Nuruddin Hamanyero. He is a chieftain of the ruling All Progressives Congress, and he contested for the House of Representatives in the 2023 general election. Also, we have Dr. Law Mefo. He's a columnist and senior lecturer at the International Institute of Journalism in Abuja. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you for hosting us.
So I'm sure you've been following the protests. Yeah. Let me start with you, Mr. Hamanyero. Okay. Have you had any run-ins or encounters with any of the protesters? Did you go out there?
Yes, I went out on the first day, and I was on the express going to the EFCC, but I followed the express by National Judicial Council. Of course, you see the anger. You see the determination that it does not matter what force will be used on us. We want to remain steadfast until until the government is ready to listen to our yearnings. And as a matter of fact, the government shouldn't have dodged this protest from the onset. Allow it to happen. Control it. And people should learn to understand what governance is. Because it seems we have defined governance only at the federal level. And everybody today is just looking at Abuja, Port Harcourt. People are all, okay, Governor Fubara said, I have heard you and I will send you a message to the federal government. Then what are the state governors doing? So it's actually the right thing to be done. It's just that doing it in a manner that will come with destructions to properties is not acceptable, and the securities should prevail. Right. And don't allow this to happen.
You said that the government shouldn't have tried to stop the protest. Did you tell your colleagues in the APC, it's your party, did you talk to your colleagues and the party organization and all of, did you say this to them?
As a matter of fact, there is a party aspect of it, but it seems we are in denial. And when there is an issue like this, a national issue, people should be looking at governance, not party. Yes, the party has a very good role to play, and excesses by people holding on to position as a result of their party affiliation, the parties have the right to check. And if the party didn't play their part, instead, they were fighting genuine members of the party who were up and doing, advising the party that there is hunger. Remember, a senator from Borno State South has advised the government, who is a chieftain of the APC, a sitting member, a senator of the Federal Republic, advised the government that there is hunger and anger in the land. Let's not allow it degenerate. He played a vital role in making the president and even the Senate president and other key stakeholders. However, how was he paid? He was dismissed from his position in the National Assembly, relegated to an ordinary senator, and then to an extent, you can imagine our national chairman making a statement that he should go and look for another party. This is not acceptable. I think as a party, we need to come back because we have drifted too much, realign, and it's not helping the party. I'm sure you saw what Honorable Yusuf Gagdi said yesterday. His role, first of all, is to his constituency. Yes, we have respect and love for our party. We have respect and love for the president. But it is our duty to air it out when it is not going well. Right.
You realize that you are indicting literally your party on national television. Are you not afraid of backlash?
It's not an indictment. It's not an indictment. In fact, when I look at it as this is a genuine concern for my party, and they should look at it in that light, not abusive. I should not be punished because okay, the senator says, and so many other people, that there is no longer access to government. There is no longer access. So if a sitting senator will complain that there is no access to government, who am I that does not have a political appointment will have access to government? So if this is the best way we talk to our party, so that the party will come back, invite all stakeholders at zonal levels in the state, at federal level, discuss how have we drifted and what can we do to realign, because it's important we deliver service. This is the best way to communicate to Nigerians, service delivery. Right. And at this point, Nigerians are not seeing it. It is not hidden that there is hunger in the land. Okay. There is nothing affordable anymore in the country. Is it energy? Is it food? Is it even the simple security that you go to your bed and sleep, thinking you will wake up the next morning? Nothing is affordable. Okay. So it is our right to talk. The party should not take it as a way of relegating the party. Instead, they should invite every other member of the party to discuss on how to get things right. Okay, Dr. Mefo, you have also been following developments. How do you think the energy or the atmosphere has changed from yesterday when the protest started to today?
Yeah, well, first, I want to say that I belong to nobody, I belong to everybody.
Well, that was President Muhammad
Buhari. I'm borrowing from President Muhammad Buhari as he then was. You know, to be honest, I think Nigeria has reached a crossed road, so to speak. For me, the path we take will determine so much. And I'm glad I'm non-allied. So what I say should be taken as from a neutral perspective. You know, the protest, I must say, protest is different from riot. And the organizers of protest should know that there is a difference. And certainly, protest is an integral part of a democracy and the democratic process. This is established. I think Section 40 of the Constitution gives Nigerians that inalienable right to voice, you know, what you call freedom of speech. You can say it, freedom of association. All these derive from what you are seeing at the moment. So, Nigerian masses, the youths, saying that they want the government to hear them is completely in order. That's established. I watched and followed through what happened between yesterday and today. And I must say that is what the French would call or say comme ci, comme ça. Not so good, not so bad. You know, a 50-50 kind of thing, depending on where you are viewing the situation from. I believe that the organizers of the protest didn't really organize well. Okay. That is very fundamental.
Why do you say so?
I say so because, you know, well, they may see their facelessness as strategic because maybe in their own perception, they are facing what they see as a repressive government. But being faceless didn't quite allow them to interface with the security agencies. And on the part of the government also, particularly the police, I didn't see much preparations on their part. They were rather pushing, insisting that the protest should be put off. Even last night, the IGP was still saying, leave this protest, which shows that they are not really prepared. In fact, in the last couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks back, we saw a kind of knee-jerk response. In Abuja here, where we live, we saw, yes, on weekend, the Honorable Minister talking tough, saying that Abuja is not available for any form of protest. I'm glad that today I saw Wike saying, look, let's talk. That he should have said 2-3 weeks ago.
Right.
Now, that is why I said that on both sides, I didn't see much preparations. And as we speak, there is a record that some people have died. Every man's death diminishes me because we are all involved in mankind. Right. We ought to do better.
Okay.
And they still have 8 days to go. I would advise that they should get together and really work things out. The police can guide and guard this process and arrive at what happened in Edo. I commend the Edo CP. He was there in the process, on top of the game. Almost the same thing happened in Lagos. Okay. I also commend the CP of Lagos.
Okay, Mr. Hamanyaro, you heard what the army said already, that they are going to intervene if need be. How would you respond to that?
We hope it doesn't degenerate, that the army will have to intervene. What we hope to be seeing is state governors, legislative members, senators and reps, members House of Assembly at state level should all go back and begin to engage their people. There has to be public engagement. The president cannot do this.
The president cannot do it, or he cannot do it alone.
He cannot do it alone. And even him, I expected, starting from yesterday to now, the president should have come out on a State of the Nation address, talk to Nigerians. We have done quite a lot. Just like Dele Alake mentioned in one of his interviews, policies have maturity periods, and please, people should be patient. The president should come out and tell Nigerians what is the gestation period. We have done so in security. You begin to see our result in 3 months, 6 months from now. In agriculture, this is how far we have invested. And in the next 2-3 months, the prices of food in the market will come down seriously and people can afford it. Once Nigerians will hear this from the president down to the governors, down to the members' House of Assembly, I am sure people will calm down.
Okay, Dr. Mefort, do you believe what he's saying, that we will be seeing a change in this government? Does the government...
First and foremost, some people would say that the protest is of no effect. No, it's not true. This protest is already yielding some fruits. Even before the takeoff yesterday, government had already started reviewing a number of policies. That is some gain, because government never really looked in that direction until Nigerians really spoke and said, look, we're hungry. I think it's fundamental. Like reviewing imported duties on key food items and stuff like that. I think it's something. But I think that I would agree with my friend, the APC chieftain, that there is need for government to really do a lot more. You see, when you say policy needs gestation period, I agree. But my people also say that the chick or chicken that will grow into a cock starts from the cradle. We will see from day one. The policies, there are 2 hydra-headed policies of this administration that must be revisited. One is fuel subsidy removal. The other is naira flotation. There is no country in the world, and I challenge the experts in this government, the technocrats in this government, to point to one country where their currency is floated and the subsidy is removed in the energy mix. I want to see just one. There is none. There is no way this economy will get better unless you halt one of the policies. What we are facing today is not even fuel subsidy anymore. The problem is naira flotation. That is what is pushing everything up, and that is why you can't even. I drove to this place on a black market fuel because there is no fuel. Even at 670 naira, we can't find fuel in the filling stations because the marketers are asking for more money. We need to revisit some of these policies. I plead with the president. There are 2-3 things he must do and do today. Okay. You know, it doesn't mean that the president is weak, because that is what his spin doctors are telling him, that if you address the nation, it shows you're weak. Look, the president should address the nation. It doesn't make him weak, it makes him strong. He will directly identify with the people. Number 2, if I were the president, I will host a Twitter space with the youths and tell them my story. Tell them what I made. The president met an empty purse, empty treasury, empty well. The Buhari administration sold our crude in advance. How many Nigerians know this? Do you know that what Nigeria as a country now sells a crude to receive a foreign exchange is no longer up to 500,000 barrels a day, even though you export 1.5 million. They need to tell Nigerians why. So
that's part of the roots of the problem.
That's the foundation of the problem.
Mr. Hamanyero, what do you have to say? Because when he says the previous government, well, squandered our commonwealth and then we're in a difficult situation, it was the same government. It was the same party. And probably Mr. President bears part of the responsibility because all of you supported the former president.
Yeah. Whatever Bola Tinubu made on the table, he has the duty to recalibrate it. Be it as it may, that the fuel subsidy, he announced the removal of the subsidy on his inauguration day. The backlash, there is a way, if you make it, remember, when it was sold at immediately 500 to 600, when it was available, people were not complaining, saying, okay, when things get better, when the Dangote refinery begins to work, we expect changes. When there's little pressure on our dollar, perhaps the fuel price will be reduced, and so on. And the same thing with the dollar. If you allow the naira to float, and you say let the dollar find its value in the market, if you realize these things are not working, there are 1,001 ways to recalibrate. For example, let me tell you, when the dollar was allowed to float, it started from 900, 1,000. Today, every day the CBN keeps changing policies because they want to stabilize the dollar. At the end, they are now pegging it at 1,500 and something, which, and how is the dollar finding its value when it's still the CBN? So if you put somebody in charge and you are not getting result, change them. Because these are your lieutenant. Ordinarily, you are not a banker, Mr. President. You are supervising, you are presiding over the entire nation. And if you put people who are not yielding result, replace them with better people because this is what you promised Nigerians, and this is what you want to be seen happening. Yes. That means if the CBN governor is not doing his best, you have given him more than a year. If he cannot demonstrate to Nigerians that 1 year is enough to stabilize the dollar, then he has nothing doing in the CBN. Let him leave and you bring another person. If a minister is not doing well in his ministry, 1 year is enough for him to tell you that this is how I intend to reform the ministry. Let him go, bring another people. This is what we want to be seeing, because he cannot be president and be minister of agri and be CBN governor and be whatever in the country. So, but we are giving him the blame because the decision, the bulk lies on his table and the decision is his to take.
Dr. Mefo, why do you think the president is slow to rejig his cabinet?
For me, the problem is not even the cabinet.
Right.
Though I can't find more than 2, 3, at most 5-star ministers. And you can see from the performance. I don't want to start mentioning names of those I believe are working and those that are not working. For me, policy thrust is what must be addressed. I already told you that, do you know the government is back to subsidy, fuel subsidy?
Yes, we hear that.
Beautiful. Yes. Not hearing the landing cost as at today of fuel is about 1,200 naira. And we are still buying below 1,000 naira. What that means is that somebody is paying the difference. So let's call a spade, things by their proper names. Now, the real problem we need to address is naira flotation. The president, even if it means utilizing the little window we have to borrow more and stabilize the naira below, there's the parity between naira and dollar, to go below, any figure below 1,000 naira to a dollar. Once you do that, give Nigeria 3 months, things will assume an even keel. Now, let me also add, because I hear some people say that the president, does not have any choice. It's not true. What I have mentioned now is a choice, but because he is hoping to run his government on 2 factors. One is loan, the other is tax. Do you understand that? And the loan, he is looking at the Bretton Woods institutions, IMF and World Bank. Naira flotation and subsidy removal are their prescriptions. They are not indigenous. They are not ours. The president needs to. The consequence is that they will not give him any additional loan. He doesn't need any more loan from those institutions. He should go for bilateral understanding. There are countries that are rich enough that can understand the problem of Nigeria and come to our rescue. This is the time we need gurus like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala to help us renegotiate our loans, help us renegotiate our debts. The government needs some breathing space to be able to have the money to be able to stabilize the naira. Unless you get this done, things can only worsen. I don't pray for it, but the trajectory is very clear. Anytime I read about Venezuela, the highest, Venezuela is one of the major oil producing and exporting countries, but their economy is in tatters.
Right.
Nigeria is heading in that direction.
Right. Dr. Loabefo, Mr. Nuruddin Hamanyero, thank you so much for coming.
The pleasure is always ours.
Thank you for having me.